Blog Talk Radio.
He's not famous. It may be that when his life at last comes to an end, he will leave no more trace of his sojourn on this earth than a stone thrown into a river leaves on the surface of the water. Yet it may be that the way of life he has chosen for himself may have an ever-growing influence over his fellow men, so that, long after his death perhaps, it may be realized that there lived in this age a very remarkable creature.
Welcome to Universal Mindfulness Dharma Talk with me, John Sweet.
Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. This is John Sweet, and we'd like to welcome you to our newest show, Universal Mindfulness. And Christy Marie, of course, is my co-host. Hi, Christy.
Hey, John Sweet. How are you?
I'm doing really good.
Awesome.
Sundays are my favorite day of the week, you know.
They're nice days. They're very wonderful. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm doing really good. We're happy to be here. I'd like to introduce you guys to our show. It's our first segment here. We're going to be airing on Sundays at probably 2 p.m. We're kind of feeling out the timeline here right now. I think 2 is probably going to work best, isn't it, Christy?
Oh, yeah. I think that's the best time for both of us.
Okay. So we'll start scheduling for 2 p.m. forward here on Sundays. So if you like what you hear, be sure to, favorite us, bookmark us. You can grab our player, put it on your site. And set yourself a reminder to come hang out with us on Sundays at 2 o'clock.
You can even subscribe via RSS feed if you're so inclined.
That's right.
Or with iTunes.
Yep. So you can get access to all the content.
Definitely.
It's an easy way to get your favorite shows is by subscribing to the RSS feed. You can see that right on our profile page. Mm-hmm. We're going to open up the chat here. If there's anybody listening in, feel free to chat with us because we're here and we're hanging out and we're going to talk a little bit today. Our show is, we're going to explore and discuss how two different philosophies kind of meld and work together, Buddhism and Christianity. We're going to discuss nonviolence, considering the seeds of love, understanding compassion and personal transformation, which have grown into the flowers of Buddhism and Christianity. Chris and I believe that the enlightenment of the Buddha and the loving kindness of Christ are kept alive when each of us dwells in the moment. There's an interesting quote by Teach Nhat Hanh that I like. He's one of my favorite teachers. And he says, to take good care of yourself and to take good care of living beings and of the environment is the best way to love God. Teach Nhat Hanh. So we'll have to look. Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. He's a poet too. So he's a Vietnamese monk, and he was exiled from Vietnam. I'm not sure how long ago, but he hasn't been able to return when it became a communist nation.
Wow.
And, is it Vietnam? Yes, it's Vietnam, and he's been exiled, so he hasn't been able to return. But he's an amazing man, and there's a great book that I have called Being Peace. And Christy has a book that I gave her called Living Buddha, Living Christ. Every one of us can, live a life as a living Buddha and as living Christ as well. So we'll look into that, into mindfulness, presence, gratitude. We'll touch upon our ancestors as a very important part of who we are, and other practices which are the jewels of these two spiritual traditions. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about.
We might look at things just a little bit differently than you guys do, but you can always open your mind up, or you can take from it what you want. You can leave what you don't want. It's always open. So we definitely aren't here to pound our beliefs over your head. We're just here to maybe open your mind up to some new and different things a little bit.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. The Buddha and Jesus Christ lived approximately at the same time. And there are stories out there that they actually met and walked together. You can take it as, as fact or as fiction, but I believe it. And, because they're so similar. You know what I mean? If you dig into the Bible and you dig into the Buddhist teachings, of course, the core of, not having one God in Buddhism, but everything else is so similar, loving, compassion, kindness, connectedness, taking care of yourself and, of course, your fellow man.
Yes.
So there's a lot of similarities. It's hard to discern the two from each other. Buddhism, when you read a Buddhist book, it's like reading pure poetry, like the Bible, right, Christy?
Definitely. It's beautiful. Definitely opens your mind, definitely enlightens you to different philosophies and ideas a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Always something to gain.
Right.
Which I love.
So, exactly. In today's day and age, the modern age, people, are wandering around trying to, a lot of people are trying to find, something to give them guidance, and it's really hard to find, something solid, in your life, So people can go from church to church, from different philosophies to philosophies, and not finding what they want. I've been taught and told, the things I've read, that, to find something, stick with it to the end, and do your best. And it may not be for you, but at least you've stuck it out and you figured out that maybe that's not for you, and then you can go on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's always good to keep an open mind. If you're embracing a faith and you've taken it, or a religion or a belief, and you've taken it as far as you can, and you still feel like there's something missing, it's always good to keep on moving. You don't want to be stuck somewhere where you have no ability to grow. You want to find something that nourishes you and expands your mind, and you're constantly questioning, and it's questioning you, and something that makes you feel strong and whole. So I think that's very important when it comes to your beliefs in religion.
That's right. There's so many people, seeking out there, and I think, it's very important that people do find something, especially the way that the world is today. It's imperative that people come together, and the only way that you can come together and help each other is if you're okay with yourself.
Definitely.
You've got to get peace in your own life, and then you can help spread that to other people. So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, the old quote, what would Jesus do? It sounds a little cliche and commercial, but, every time I make a decision, I do try to keep in mind and really think about it. And I'm not perfect all the time, and it doesn't work like that all the time, but I do try to envision, what would Jesus do if he was in my situation? Would he just turn the other cheek? Would he let it go? Would he feel like it was time to stand up? And that's the way I try to live my life. I think it's important.
That's a great way to take a look at things, for sure. That goes with mindfulness, thinking before you act, and thinking before you speak. How are my words going to affect other people?
Exactly.
How will my actions affect this situation? So everything is everything is connected. My actions can affect you directly, and I might not be aware of it as I just plow through my life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to take time to think. It's really important to think before you speak.
Definitely.
Take that 30-second pause. Think about what you're going to say. Think about the repercussions of your words, because words can hurt. Words wound deeply. We all carry a lot of baggage from things that people have told us that we're not even aware of. And we develop our schemas around things that people tell us what we are, right? And I remember this one story I read about this little girl who loved to sing, right?
Mm-hmm.
She loved to sing. And her mother was busy in a hurry, and her daughter's singing was annoying her. She told her that she sung like a crow. And the girl never sung again, right?
So sad.
Stuff like that, You know what I mean? So you got to be really careful about things that you say, especially to children and even to adults, you know what I mean? Because we're all affected by them in our own different ways.
Yep, so, not even just the tone or the words, but also the way that you look at somebody. I mean, a dirty look on the street from somebody that you don't even know, a look that you feel like is sizing you up and is horrible, can affect you for the rest of the day, maybe even the rest of the week, I mean, very easily. And you might not even be aware of it. There might just be something bugging you, and it could go back to just that horrible, disgusting look that somebody gave you. Just the same way as a smile from a stranger can just make you feel pretty uplifted and enlightened, and happy for the rest of the day or even the week.
Right.
So it's definitely true.
I've always smiled at everybody. They probably think I'm a madman.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
My little son, who's 9 years old, you know what I mean? They're so insecure sometimes. They want to please. They want to, make you happy, right? Yes. And they may be doing something that they're quite not